actually hated cats. Hi hotties! You have to say hi! You're a big girl now, huh? You just turned 2, now you're all grown. Today's video is going to be a little what I wish I knew before I adopted a kitten. Kind of also our story. As I said before, she just turned 2, so we've been together for a while now. A little fun fact about me is that I've had a lot of pets in my life. Like growing up, I've had birds, guinea pigs, hamsters, fish, dogs, you name it. I've had all of them except for a cat. So when she came into my life, I was completely clueless. I'm only 22 years old and I am a raging cat mom. So I hope that you find this video helpful. If you're looking to adopt a kitten, if you already have a kitten and you don't know what to do, or you're just bored and you're just watching this video. So yeah, let's get on to it. I also want to do a quick disclaimer. Every single cat is different. Suki was so easy for me and that's just kind of the only experience I've had. Okay, so I'm gonna start from the very beginning on how she came into my life. So as I said before, I actually did not like cats. Like I never understood the hype of them. I was like, I'm a dog person for life. So when I was in college and I visited my parents at home, I noticed that there was like a box of cat litter and I asked my mom, why is there like cat litter here? She was like, oh, check your sister's room, we have a cat. I didn't really think anything much of it. I like wasn't really excited to like see the cat. I just put everything into my room and was just like, okay, I guess we'll just look at the cat. And when I saw her, she was the most adorable little thing. She was so skinny. I mean, she's eating good now, but she was so skinny when I first saw her. She was just a little bean and I was so nervous to like hang out with her because I really fell into that like stereotype of cats being really standoffish and really mean. My sister had to go to work, so I wanted to babysit her, So I wanted to babysit her for a couple hours and she was just such a little sweetheart. I thought she was just so baby. I know I'm gonna be talking in baby voice a lot, but when I'm talking about my cat, my daughter, like it just comes out. I don't even do it on purpose, I'm sorry. Oh, but yeah, she was actually a stray cat. Like my mom found her in the backyard and she saw her once and was like, she was just a little small thing, but then she thought she just ran away from home or something. And then Suki came back to our backyard the next day. So my mom was like, we have to take her in. Like she's going to get eaten by a coyote. So that's how we took her in. The cat distribution system really worked out for us. And during this first couple of days when I was starting to get to know her, I noticed that she wasn't drinking a lot of water. So then I looked it up and then I went through this whole rabbit hole, like how they can die from dehydration and all that stuff. So I was so nervous and scared. I literally bought like a little syringe with electrolytes, hold her and make her drink water because I was just so nervous that she was gonna pass away. And she's fine obviously now. So that's when I actually stole her from my sister and took her to my apartment. I guess technically I'm her aunt, but no. She's my kid. By the way, my sister initially named her Sam and I just felt like that didn't really fit her in any way. So then I was thinking, oh, like Lisa maybe. I don't know. I was in my Blackpink era and I was like, oh, Lisa would fit her. After a week, I was like, this is not working out. And then once I got to know her personality a little bit more, I felt that Suki was the perfect name. She's named after Suki from Avatar: The Last Airbender and also Fast and Furious. I feel like they're just really pretty girls, but they're also badass and they won't take people's shit. And I think that's perfect for her. It was an hour-and-a-half drive to our apartment, so I thought she was gonna be really nervous, but she was really chill. And by the time we went home, she like went out of the crate really fast. Like she's just a very chill and very adaptable cat. I tease her a lot and say that she's like a little doggy. She wasn't scared at all. She hid for like the first day like under the bed, which totally makes sense. Like I would be so nervous if I was in a new space, but I also had like a huge window for her and she would look at cars all the time. So she really got used to my apartment in no time, and then like by day 2 we were good. When I first met her and took her to the vet, they told us that she was 4 months old. So she was not super kitten, but she was like still baby. She knew how to use the litter box. She didn't pee or poo anywhere bad. I was kind of nervous that she would try to mark her territory with places, but she's not really like that. She continued to be so cuddly and cute. She was always purring and loafing. And when I tell you, I never knew anything about cats. When the first time I saw her loafing, I was like, what are you doing? Like, are you okay? Like, does your arm hurt? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay, this is a good sign. By week 1 of her officially being my daughter, I think it was just a lot of like bonding experience, getting each other used to each other, because again, I didn't really know much about Cass and she didn't really know me at all. I'm so grateful that her heart was so big and full that she like let us into her life and trusted us really easily. She's gonna go in there. What? I actually really like talking to her, and I think she talks back a lot, so I think we have that kind of connection, right? But also, all those stereotypes about cats are not true. Again, they're stereotypes. I mean, a lot of them take a while, but some of them still are like Suki, and they're really like chill. So I think being patient, not trying to force anything on the kitten is best for the long run. You don't want to break their trust from the get-go, you know? Now I want to get into the essentials of when you're first bringing your kitten home and kind of onward. First things first is a little crate. Of course, when you're gonna pick them up from wherever you're adopting them, you have to bring them home somehow. You don't want to just hold them in the car. I have this one, and I really like it because the window is really, really big. Before, we used to have this like plastic one. It was really heavy. It was really hard to like move around. This one is very light, and it also has compartments and all that stuff. The next things are cat litter and a litter box. If they're really, really baby, I would recommend like a really shallow litter box. You don't want them having to hop over, because if it's too hard for them, they're not gonna poo and pee in that litter box, baby. They're not. My roommate in college actually adopted like the tiniest little baby. She was so cute. But yeah, she was really, really tiny. So for like the first couple weeks, like in her litter box, it wasn't actually a litter box. It was like a little cereal box that she cut, and it was shallow enough for her to get over. Of course, we need food and water. For Suki, I do a mix of wet and dry. It just depends. Next up are toys, and that's definitely where I started spoiling her a lot, because I was like, she needs this toy, she needs this toy. And I think it's just really important for cats to be stimulated. Like, you know, when you're busy, when you're at work, when you're at school, they need to have some sort of way to entertain themselves. This is actually one of her favorite toys. It's just like a little ball thing, and then she like hits it and stuff. And I think it's really funny because she'll smack the shit out of it, and it will be so loud, and I think it's just so funny at night. I really like this one because she can actually like play with it, and it doesn't get messy because of the balls like stay in here. I think it's the perfect little toy. Okay, go play with it over there. But her most favorite toy is this one. It's like, I call it her little emotional support toy. She really likes toys with strings on it, and I think it's really sweet because it was one of her first toys actually, and I think that it's just so precious when she actually has like a whole bin of toys, and she'll dig through it and grab this specific one and always play with it. I know, I have her too. If you want, you have to come over here. Also, a really important thing to have is a little scratcher. And we also have this little baby one that she just like kind of throws around in the house and starts scratching, that she actually demolished. But a lot of the times I see that cats are scratching people's like couches and all that stuff. And I think it's just really important to give cats that outlet to scratch, because that's in their innate nature, right? So if you don't want them scratching your couches, make sure you have places for them to scratch, because if you don't got places for them to scratch, they're gonna find a way. I also have her in flea meds as well. I think mine also helps with like heartworm and other worms. I don't know, cats get a lot of worms that I'll talk about later, but I think keeping them on a very good flea medication is important. Even if they're not outdoor cats, they can still get fleas and all that stuff that you bring from your shoes outside. Another thing you want to do when you get home is to cat proof your home. You want to get rid of those toxic plants. Cats are actually very sensitive, so a lot of plants that you have might actually be toxic to them. A lot of the times when cats are really nervous, they'll hide under furniture in really, really tight places. So you want to make sure that those tight places are either blocked off, or there's nothing under there that can potentially harm them, like nails, cords. You don't want them to nibble on cords and like electrocute themselves, obviously. So make sure that all that is sorted out. Oh my god, okay, now we're gonna get into something crazy. Me being a bad mom, okay? So I was eating grapes. I was being a little healthy queen. I ate some grapes. I didn't finish all of them, so I put them next to my bed. I wake up, one grape is gone. I look at Suki. I'm like, no way you ate a grape. And I was like, oh, like it's fine. It's just a grape, like it can't do anything. I look it up. Cats can die from eating grapes or raisins and all that stuff, and I did not know that. So here I am, freaking out. I take her to the vet, and they're like, she seems fine, but we can have her in for more tests. Like, she's my child at this point. Like, I will do anything for her. So I'm like, yes, please test her. All this stuff. Like, I'm freaking out. She stays in the vet for a day, and she's completely fine. She looks really frail at the vet, and I get really, really sad. I get home, I look at the bill. $1,300 for one day. The most expensive grape in the world. I'm so happy that I have the means to figure that out for her, and I'm so happy she didn't actually end up getting hurt. Please, 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 when you get a cat, get them insurance. I didn't think anything bad would happen, but I think that's the whole thing of life, right? You never know that something's gonna happen until it does. I could have saved so much money if I had insurance for her, so please get insurance. And with that, cats can get sick really, really easily. Suki has had tapeworm like 2 or 3 times. She's also had an ear infection, of course, the grape incident, and their checkups too. I think it is just so important to get insurance for them, please. Like, I didn't even care if I didn't have insurance for myself. If my cat, that's a different thing. Now I want to talk about some other things I learned after spending some more time with her. When I first got her, I actually had a collar on her with a bell, and I thought that was such a great idea, right? Because she was just so tiny. She was just like a little rat that I was nervous that I would step on her because, again, she was just so tiny. But actually having bells on collars can be really, really bad for their hearing. So right when I found that out, I took it off. I also learned that I don't want to scoop up her pee and her poo anymore. I was getting so over it. So pretty early on, I actually invested into a litter robot, which is an automatic litter box. It helps me save a lot of money on litter because I'm not scooping out too much. It just takes out the parts that need to be taken out. It's definitely the best thing I've ever bought for her and for me because yeah, I was getting really, really sick of scooping everything up and I just didn't like it. I also heard from my other cat mom friends that using like these little like pellets or something like that is a lot better than the traditional like sandy litter. If you don't want to get a litter robot just yet, I would look into that. I actually decided to get her spayed as soon as possible. So after you're done with all of that, I would actually recommend using a fluffy cone. They initially give you this big plastic one and I feel like that's just really uncomfortable for them. It's hard for them to eat, go to the bathroom, so I would recommend using a little fluffy cone because they can use it as a pillow. Initially, I actually got her this little suit that I thought would be perfect so she would have range of motion on her neck. Put it on her and I thought it was me so cute, like she was in a little onesie, and she started limping. And I was like, oh my God, there's no way. Like something went wrong in the surgery. She's hurt, I need to take her to the vet. I was so nervous. I thought she like sprained her ankle or something. I don't know. But then I took her to the vet and they just told me that she was being dramatic and that she didn't like the suit. So the fluffy cone went back on. I also learned that cats are very, very simple creatures. They don't need anything super fancy and all of that. They're honestly happy with anything that they can play with. Like at first, I built her this cat tree and I was so excited that she would love it so much and all that stuff. It took her like a couple weeks to actually like lay on top of any of these flowers, and she just recently actually started going in there, and I've had this for probably like 6 months or something like that, and she only started going in there like last week. So it does take time for them to get assimilated to some things, and I think a tried and true toy and little burrow for them to be in is a cardboard box or a little shoe box or something like that. I actually get a lot of PR, which I'm so grateful for, thank you so much, but I actually have like a lot of boxes around the house and it looks so horrible, but she has an attachment to this one box and I can't find it in my heart to throw it away, but she loves this box so much and it looks so horrible. I'm just looking at it right now. Okay, finally I'm going to get into kind of the main point of this whole video, right? Exactly what I wish I knew. I think everything that I talked about is kind of what I wish I knew, but this is a very definitive list. Number 1, your cat is going to make you their bitch. Okay, so before Suki, I knew I had love in my heart. I knew I can love something, but I didn't know I could love something this much. She's my girl, really. I never thought that I could have this emotional attachment to a cat out of everything, like especially since I didn't like cats before her. This girl makes my heart swell and it makes me act insane, like with all the baby talk and everything like that. When I was going to class, I'm thinking about her. When I'm going out to the clubs, I'm out here dancing and I'm thinking about my cat. Also, if we're cuddling together and I'm in the most uncomfortable position known to man, I will not move. I will persevere for my daughter to be comfortable. And not even that, like if we're cuddling and her nails are digging into me, I will still not move. And with that, I wish I knew to get her used to cutting her nails. When they're a baby, you can start to introduce them to all this stuff. But I mean, I like did cut her nails when she was a baby, but I didn't really get her used to it. So now she's really, really bad whenever I try to cut her nails. Like we have to pin her down to cut her nails. But honestly, I kind of just blame myself. Like whenever she's making biscuits on me and her nails are really long and it hurts, I kind of just persevere because it's my fault that her nails are that long. I also wish I knew that cats can learn tricks. I actually taught her how to sit in like 2 days. Oh, she just sat. Whoa, you're so smart. And that was when she was almost 2 years old. So I think if I like taught her like way earlier, she would know so many tricks by now. She'd be the smartest cat on the block. But I'm actually really proud that she knows how to sit. She's such a little good girl. You're so good. I would say let your cats be curious. The term curious cat didn't come from nowhere, right? So what I'll do, I'll literally carry her and put her into high places. Like I'll just hold her and show her things she's never seen before, like the top of my closet, all that stuff. Because I feel like they always want to know, but they don't know how to get there. And I think if you show them, then they won't try to do it on their own and get hurt. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, they just want to be included. There's this one YouTube channel that I watch called June's Kitchen, and he's always cooking and has his cats like all around him. And I think it's just so pure whenever he lets him sniff the food and everything like that, because again, like they just want to be included and they just want to know what's going on. And I think that helps a lot with the bonding and trust and everything. Do not let them see your hand as a toy, okay? You don't want to play with them like this and all that stuff, so then they start grabbing your hand and start scratching and biting, because again, that can be really painful. It's just like not a good thing, right? So you, like from the beginning, you really don't want them to see your hand as a toy. Under their chin right here, they release a lot of pheromones. I think that's the right way to say it. I think if you scratch them right here and also behind their ears, they really, really like that. They love being pampered, and I think that if you just give that energy to them, they will love you more. Of course, you become more of their bitch, but I think we all just have to be okay with that. Your entire camera roll will be of your cat. I have so many photos of her because she's my daughter. Like I need to document her life. And you best believe anytime that someone mentions a cat when I'm outside, I'll pull out my phone and be like, look at my cat, look how cute she is. I'm that girl. I'm that annoying girl. If you work out at home, prepare for your cats to be all over your yoga mat. I think it's so funny whenever I'm working out and then she starts laying on her yoga mat and then I can't work out anymore properly. It's really cute too when she's stretching on there. We'll do like little poses together. The last portion of this video is basically going to be a little love letter to my little girl. I just want to talk about some things that she taught me. She taught me to let others be. If she wants to cuddle, she'll cuddle, but the second she's uncomfortable, she will move. And I think that's really an important life lesson. Like you don't have to endure things if you don't want to. I mean, I will with her, but I think like on a personal and like kind of relationship level with like other humans, I think it's really important to like have your boundaries. They're really not like dogs where you could just force them to cuddle you. I mean, I'm kind of doing that right now, but it's not that much. I learned that earning trust takes time. You can't force someone to like you super quickly. Cats in general are really, really good at guarding their hearts and solidifying that trust needs to be earned. It's just not given to you. I also learned that it's okay to rest and have no thoughts at all. If you want to just lay down and stare out the window for 4 hours, that's fine, you know? Just listening to your body and just doing what you want to do, I think is so admirable. Like I wish I could be like her. I mean, obviously practically I can't just stare out the window for 4 hours. I think it's like listening to your instincts and listening to yourself. That's the little end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if I went off topic a lot. I can talk about this little girl for hours and hours. I hope you learned something new. And if you get a little kitty, please send a picture to me on Instagram or something. I would love to see, or if you just have a cat already, I would love to see pictures of them. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye. It's so funny when she's laying down and then she just spreads out, like all her fat and her skin just spreads out. What? That's you saying bye.